In this video, I'll show how I use the ATS template design option number 1 to help populate my course for the fall. From the home page, I made several modifications. One, I started with the information given in the welcome widget, modified their text to provide a short welcome message as well as a welcome video for students. In addition, I modified my first news announcement to students, giving a little bit more detail as to how the course is set up, and I used their Start Here widget to give an explicit instruction on what students should do to get started in the course. I populated information about myself to share with students, and I had a little bit of fun with this. We elected a mascot, my Chocolate Lab Dakota. In addition, when I was populating the content area in the Beachboard template, I was able to add due dates so that these would populate on the home page for students so they could see exactly what's due in the first few weeks of the course. In addition, I changed the information to show my contact information and virtual office link, which takes them directly to the Zoom link. And there's a waiting room, so we have that set up according to best practice so students can visit me by appointment. In addition, ATS has provided on their templates a list of resources for students and some information about Beachboard at the bottom of the home page. Now on the nav bar, the next tab is the content area. And one of the first areas that you can show your students is the overview if you choose. In the overview, I just simply repeat some of what is on the home page as well as give them an understanding of what they can expect this course to cover. I've seen other faculty use this area for pretty much everything I put on my home page. Instead, they put it here in the overview, and you can also add an attachment to show students your syllabus. Now, if you choose to use the template, you can get a lot of help in terms of the videos on how to get started using the template. It'll tell you exactly what you should do. In addition, there's some examples on how to add content directly into your course. So if you're not familiar with Beachboard, you've never populated Dropboxes or discussion boards, tons of videos here or links to the ATS site to help you with that. Now let's look at the course in the student view. If I click on my name, I can choose View as Student, and this will show you what the content area looks like for students after I've made my modifications. So from the table of contents, if you want to show students just a quick glance of the different modules, you can have students go to table of contents and expand all. And this simply allows us to just go chronologically through the various items posted on Beachboard. You can also collapse all and have students quickly find the different modules, which I organize my modules by week. But this same task can be done on the left-hand side of Beachboard by following the modules in the order shown. Now, one of the first places I show students is the Start Here area, where I host the syllabus. I also have a course assignment checklist that links to my course learning objectives. I've populated a netiquette guide based off of best practices from recent ATS training. Required technology, which is very critical now that we're all online. And in addition to the required technology, I use external links for the different software components of my course so that students can click on these links and quickly download the software. And doesn't hurt to put ATS's number in case they run into trouble. Now, it's really important also since a lot of us are using Lockdown Browser and maybe the Respondus Monitor, And it's important that we let students know exactly how to use that technology, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So in the template, there are videos that you can post inside of your course so students can learn exactly how to use that technology before exam time. In addition, I have required textbook information. I've chosen to use the D1DA program with McGraw-Hill, and I have deep integration in my course. And this simply tells students that they don't have to buy the course materials externally, and if they choose to do so, they would need to opt out. So this message is something that I actually received from the bookstore. So if you are using D1DA, you do need to request this message from the bookstore. In addition, I have provided publisher information and a link for student support, and I have linked assignments from my Connect site to Beachboard so that students can take a quick orientation on how to use Connect and how to use the SmartBook inside of my Connect site. So again, I used the integration inside of Beachboard to allow me to populate assignments that are actually in Connect, an external site, but by clicking on this link, students don't need to go to that external site. They can have all of their assignments in one location and organized in an orderly fashion. So that's the required textbook area. In addition, I have additional student resources, an area for student success. So learning online has been a challenge for some of our students, so I've decided to add some tips for successful online studies. And then repetition is something you'll see throughout the template. There's a lot of the same information in multiple locations, especially the orientation information. Repetition helps students to remember key components, and so I've added my office again and my office hours, which is a place, again, by them just clicking on this link and they've already set up an appointment with me, we can meet in my Zoom office. One of the final things I want to do in this video is cover how the modules are set up in the template. I've chosen to use the template exactly as given, so I use weekly modules with the name of my week, a summary name of what I plan to cover for the week. I use a short message provided inside of the template, just making some modifications to the wording. I populate my learning objectives inside of this module and tie them to the course learning objectives with a short list of what is due that week, how much time they'll be spending, how many points they can earn, and explicitly show how this links to the course learning objectives and also providing due dates. Again, some repetition because later in the module I add a checklist which is optional in the template, but I can add this checklist, and by clicking on the checklist students can see exactly what is due and use this like a traditional checklist. In addition to the overview of what will be covered this week, I also show submodules, and these are right from the template, where I have a class lecture submodule, readings, assignments, and I have changed the name of the fourth one to collaborations. Inside of each of the submodules, I can post documents, I can post a lecture video, or I can post a link to my external Connect learning tool. What's also nice when you use deep integration is that the link connects to the gradebook. So when I was creating my gradebook, once I added a Connect assignment to my Beachboard course, the grade item was automatically created, and I did have to modify and add them to the categories, so it took a little bit of work, but it will save me time in the long run because once students are done with these assignments, the grades will automatically populate inside of Beachboard. I do not need to transfer grades from my learning management system into Beachboard. In addition, I created different categories for other components of my course. So I wanted to take you there real quickly. So again, that's another plug for using the, if possible, using the publisher's integration with Beachboard to save you some time on grading for those particular assignments. Of course, there's others, like this is a Dropbox assignment that I will have to grade manually. And I also have collaborations which use external sites. I'll show you how to use MS Teams later in this webinar, and Quizlet later in this webinar. So this is an overview of how the course is set up using the ATS template design option number 1. Finally, you'll notice that my nav bar is significantly different than the standard nav bar used in the template. I've decided to make some modifications. Instead of using the Zoom link to the generic Zoom sign-on, I have a link directly to my classroom. I also have a link directly to the MS Teams site where I do all of the collaborative work in my course, and an FAQ, as well as another link, repetition can't hurt, to Beachboard Help. So again, this is design option number 1. A lot of this information was provided for me inside of the template, and it saved me some time, but it does take quite a bit of time to populate one by one each assignment, change due dates, etc. However, if you use the templates, you know that you've followed best practices according to all of the trainings we're taking this summer.